Gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good. Gonna make a difference.
I thought it was the same thing.
Race is a social construct that is used to identify people.
Ethnicity is different from race. So like race is like an identifier, a physical identifier that can differentiate you from like plain sight. So like if you have an African American, a Latino, and
an Asian,
it's like, I suppose it's race.
Isn't race like this social construction, a categorization of people based on skin tone, skin color? And
race is a social construct based on the pigment of one's skin.
A way to distinguish people by the color of the skin.
To clarify, race is always changing. The idea is never constant. However, because it is biological, your race can never change. Depending on where you live or what time period you live in, the idea of race can be different. Society is what helps to decide your race. It is socially constructed.
Take a look at yourself, then make a change. Na 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 na. I've been a victim of a selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize there was someone home, not a nickel to love.
What? More cultural.
Like where a person's from, like where their parents came from and their parents before them.
People that live in Mexico and don't necessarily have to be Mexican.
To do with your origin, right?
Yeah, your
so,
culture,
your cultural
background.
origin, cultural background.
Ethnicity is where your family is from.
It's one's legacy and geographically where one's based.
Is you being judged based on your background?
So ethnicity is a piece of somebody's identity that is not always apparent, and it's not like your skin color and race, and it's more about your ancestry. So for me, my race is biracial and I look more tan, but you probably don't know that I am only 18% African American and the majority of me is Northern European.
We did this to figure out what people identify themselves with. Another way of putting this would be what their master status is, or how they identify themselves in the world. We found that it was pretty evenly split between race and ethnicity, and some people talked about how it was hard to choose between the two, because they thought they were both important. However, when they did choose race, it was usually because they wanted to identify with who they were physically, whereas people who said ethnicity were thought it was more important about their ancestors. Whereas people who said ethnicity thought it was more important to look at where their ancestors are from, and also want to separate themselves further from other people.
Race is more important to me. I identify myself much more as who I am actually.
I identify more with Caucasian.
I think that both race and ethnicity are extremely important to know like where a person is from. For me personally, I would say ethnicity, but it's really important for me to know about my Chinese heritage.
I think for me, race is more important.
Ethnicity is more important, I think, and it's more of an identity to me.
Yeah, definitely ethnicity.
Good change. It's gonna feel real good. Some more change. Just to live yourself. You know, you got to stop it.
White girls like Starbucks.
I eat noodles for lunch, and people are like, "Oh, that's so Asian." I'm like, I just like noodle.
Some stereotypes that go along with being Asian and Chinese would be, say, like a person's really short, person's really good at math, person can't speak English well.
Things that are associated with being Mexican could be like being good at manual labor and like, I don't know, jumping the border.
Things that would be associated with being American or with white would be like white people can't dance,
Wear Uggs.
the lazy black person who doesn't want to do anything or get a job.
A white teenage girl is sort of the Greenwich, Connecticut, like rich girl with Uggs and an iPhone.
My parents have an interracial relationship. They think that my family is always really progressive.
White people can't jump.
Because I'm German, people often talk to me about things like the Holocaust. To be honest, people often make fun of me for having pale skin and red hair.
Food, pasta and pizza.
Beer and sausages.
This will only become more important because society is starting to change. Interracial marriages are becoming more and more common, so more biracial children are born. National Geographic has even done an article talking about this change in America. We need to learn that race and ethnicity are different, and that stereotypes are not something to judge someone on.